I'm going to do a video quick as I can. This is based on basically the conspiracy theory that corporations, the Bilderbergs, corporations control the politicians in the United States. And basically, what are they thinking? Okay, here's my idea, and these numbers are pretty accurate. Check me on. Okay, this is politicians, this is corporations. Okay, I'm being very generous by saying 3 million of the ABC departments, 3 million worth of cops, and 3 million worth of armed forces. In 2008, the numbers were 1.1 million cops, and I think they had like 700,000 some kind of deputized. Okay, so this is several years later. We're up to 3 million, 3 million, 3 million. That gives 9 million in police powers for the United States, for your politicians and your corporations to impose their rules and regulations. Alright, now remember, this is all based on the idea of the Bilderbergs controlling politicians. Okay, this here represents your welfare state. Each little man multiplied by 1 million. So each one of these, there's 150, that's 150 million. Each one of these, 150 million. This is basically people who work jobs, people who are armed, people who will protect themselves. This is welfare state. In the event of, and a lot of evidence points to these people, the corporations, pushing or kind of assisting in an economic collapse. If they're not assisting in it, then they could do a whole lot more to stop it. Okay, so anyways, a lot of people believe they're assisting in an economic collapse. Now, in an economic collapse, you've got no food in the stores, everybody panicking. Okay, so what happens? DHS has purchased enough ammunition to kill every man, woman, and child in the United States. Every man, woman, and child in the United States 4 times over. Okay? DHS, this is FBI, DHS, all that, the ABC departments. 4 times over they could kill every man, woman, and child. 4 bullets for each and every one of us. Alright, so the worst thing, and if an economic collapse happens or some kind of disaster, welfare, anybody who's on government assistance, the first thing people are going to want to do is charge the capitals and demand that the Democrats, the politicians, provide for them, because they told them that if you vote for them, they will provide for you. Okay, this is something that they can neither do nor guarantee. But the worst thing you can do is charge them demanding, because DHS has enough ammunition to just shoot for days. Okay? These people would not charge. These people would. But that's the worst thing you could do, because they'll cut you down. Okay. A lot of people think that military and cops will stand with the people, and for a large part they will, but you have to understand, these people are trained to obey orders. Okay? Military fear disobeying an order more than the barrel of the enemy's gun. Okay? That is how much they are trained to take orders. They fear disobeying an order more than the enemy's gun. Okay, so anyways, now say we're going to use the scenario of an economic collapse. What happens? These people charge. DHS, 1.3 million hollow point. That's just DHS. That's not FBI, ATF. That's not the cops. That's not the armed forces. They all have bullets too. I mean, they could shoot for days and days and days. All right. So it's almost, and like in Burns, Oregon, FBI, come on. Come out with the truth. It's almost as if you are pushing for civil unrest, a war. It's almost as if you're pushing for action. Look at the numbers. Do you really want to drive this country into civil unrest. Okay? Politicians and corporations, think about what you're doing. If this is true that you are behind this, think about what you're doing. Do you think these people, now they'll stand for a little while until the real fighting starts, but do you think these people will stand there and continue to protect you whenever all they're doing is fighting for a paycheck or fighting because you told them to? I don't believe they will. I believe they would disband quickly. Because if you push us into unrest, who's going to be there to protect their families? While they're up here trying to fight everybody, who's going to be there to protect your families? Because the opportunists like your rapists and your thieves and stuff, they ain't going to be up here fighting. They're going to be going and trying to steal from your homes and, assault your families. So, I guess my point being is, first off, what are these people thinking? They took your money, our money, and built underground bunkers so that they could be safe in the event of war or economic collapse. But people are not as dumbed down as you think they are. Them bunkers would become your tombs. They would weld the doors shut. They would... they would become your tombs. Okay, so anyways, so the whole point to this video is realistically, these people would be fighting for a way of life, freedom. These people would be fighting for a paycheck and because they're following orders. Okay, it wouldn't be like Nazi Germany where most of the guns were already taken, Alright. Now, without being armed, it would be a piece of cake that could just cut everybody down. Okay. Now, in this scenario of the Bilderbergs controlling the government, they want a one world government, which presidents have come out and said, one world government. 30 years ago, everybody said Bilderberg didn't exist. Now they come out and they videotape the meetings. Or they don't videotape the meetings, but they videotape them going into them. There's no doubt about that. Evidence is clear. Okay, so let's get to the 3 million, mainly the FBI, your federal government. It seems that many cops around this country are starting to wake up and realize that they are enforcing unconstitutional laws, and they are starting to put their feet down and say no more. So it seems like many cops are starting to decide to stand with the people. Okay. But ultimately, I believe that if this country stands and comes through these hard times stronger, or if this country falls into chaos, I believe it will all be on your shoulders. Either the blood or the rebuilding of this country will be on your hands. The ABC groups, the cops, and the armed forces. Why? Because if you continue, I believe, if you continue to push these people's agenda, it's almost like they're trying to get you to push these people into a fight. You just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And if it happens, if these people stand up, what are you fighting for? Because of a paycheck and your orders. Why are you putting your lives in danger, violating people's rights because these people tell you to? Why are you doing that? Think about the consequences. Watch some World War II documentaries and see what war in your own country would look like. I haven't been involved in it, but I have watched a lot of documentaries. Okay? And I've seen what war would look like, and I don't want to see it here. But it's almost as if these people have an agenda to start a war. And you, especially the FBI and the DHS, are pushing these people. It's like you're trying to get them incited into violence so that you could start cutting them down. Okay, let me give you example of unconstitutional law that everybody is enforcing. Automatic weapons. The Constitution clearly says the right of the people to be armed shall not be infringed. Now, what is infringing? Let me give you an example. If you have a car and you're fixing to drive down the road, and I go over there and I stab one of your tires and it goes flat, what have I done? I didn't stop. I mean, you could drive that car and roll down the road, but I have infringed on that car's ability to run down the road, and I have infringed on your ability to get to where you're going. Okay? Be a lot slower and a lot harder to get there. Now, that same thing goes with automatic weapons. Taking away automatic weapons, it's a felony now. Congress has no constitutional authority to disarm any peaceable American of any weapon whatsoever. No matter how strong it is, no matter how fast it fires, no matter how many bullets it holds. If you do not have a criminal background or being accused of being a criminal, then that law is null and void. Now, criminals, violent criminals, that's another thing. Yes, you can write laws barring them from having guns. But as far as taking it from a peaceable citizen, no constitutional authority whatsoever. It's clear about that. It is very clear about that. The Constitution and the Federalist Papers are very clear about that. So that's an unconstitutional order. Them taking away automatic weapons infringes. No, it don't stop us from having weapons, but it infringes on our ability to defend ourselves. Okay? Now I understand now that they're going after a lot of semi-automatics across the country. What's next? They'll go after your single shots and your handguns. Once you're totally disarmed, nothing you can do. But that is not, I guarantee you people, that's not going to happen. Guarantee you. If this country stands or falls, it's on your shoulders. Continue enforcing unconstitutional laws that violate the rights of the Americans, and my opinion, it's going to be a losing battle. Cops are already waking up. They're already standing up and saying no. Okay? All it takes for you to stand up and say, we're not doing it. It's violating our rights. And these people, what are they going to do? These men in suit and ties, what are they going to do? They have absolutely no power whatsoever without you. So think about what's going on. Consider this possibility that they may be pushing for world depopulation, which would make it easier to control, and they may be trying to incite the people through you to violence. And if violence starts, they use all the weapons at their disposal to cut down the people to a very small portion of these people. These people, they're going to kill them all. But do you think that'll really happen? Anyways, think about it. Let me know what you think. It's all based off of the idea of an economic collapse and the idea of the Bilderbergs running the politicians in America. You know, that may not be the way it play out, but that's many people's perception of what's going on. But those are pretty accurate numbers. Think about, you know, how everything would play out if something did happen. Thank you. Let me know.